These my dollars make it hurt.
What's up, amazing people? My name is Anuruki and I am proudly Kenyan. You are listening to For Better 254, a space for young Kenyans to learn and learn with the name of bringing forward a better Kenya for us and for generations to come. What's up? Welcome to today's episode. How are you guys doing? I hope everyone is doing amazing. In case you're not, just know you're gonna be okay. Just remember all the many times you were not okay. And finally, you're okay. So you're gonna be okay. Welcome to today's episode. As you can tell, today's episode is a little message to the African leaders to go back to the people. And I am gonna get into it. So if you remember a while back, I did talk about BRICS. And BRICS is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa bloc that was created a while back, but currently it's gaining a lot of attention. And the aim of BRICS, or among one of the aims of BRICS, is to derail the economy of the world from depending on one economic system, one financial system, which is the dollar system, and bring in a more inclusive kind of financial system. And recently, most of African leaders have also been very much on the forefront trying to join this bandwagon of a new kind of system. And in doing so, there's also been a lot of speak and talk about Ruto's popularity when it comes to him speaking of Africa as this one union, as this one continent with so much potential. And I know that has been a lot of contradiction for some people, because mainly Kenyans, because there is the feel that this guy, our president, is literally sabotaging us, with the high cost of living. Everything is not affordable anymore. The 1,000 Kenyan shilling is becoming like 100 shillings. And everyone isn't happy about that. And I personally do feel what the Kenyan person is talking about, but I also have to talk about the kind of conversations Ruto has been having on the idea of what Africa can be. And I have to say, he has really been on the forefront, really fighting and striving to bring about this idea of an Africa that is very much united, that benefits from each other, this Africa that is respected in the world map, this Africa where there is a voice that is common. And I do understand totally that this is not what Kenyans want to hear, but I want you to just take a minute right now and think about the possibilities that can be when we have a whole continent working together. Look at the possibilities of the work you can get, the possibilities of the networks you can make, how big your market becomes with all these borders opened for all of us. Just take a moment and think about that. Now, it may not sound all rosy and beautiful, but I do urge you to go and listen to some of these things that Ruto is talking about on the African scope, and just imagine what amazing things those can be if they are actually implemented. As I have said, I do totally understand Kenyans people pain that the cost of living is going high, and that's why I really don't know what Ruto's ambition or goal is, as to why he's very vocal on this African needs, why he's very vocal on this unification of Africa. It could be so many things, and among those things could be it's simply a power move that he's trying to make. Because as I have said here over and over again, and as far as my memory serves me right, the last time I checked, the most richest person in Africa is not the most richest person in the world is not an African, right? The richest person is Dangote. The last time I checked, correct me if I'm wrong. So I would imagine the need to be able to be the powerful guy in all this, and to be able to acquire that power. Of course, it comes with this wealth, it comes with this richness. So I would understand if that is the road he's trying to play. But I also want to believe he's trying to do it for the people, and that's why I'm inviting you to go ahead and look at some of these things that Ruto is talking about and see how they can benefit the country. And why I'm here saying that he needs to go back to the people is because among the talks on social media is the fact that he could be the next Gaddafi. And so I was thinking about Gaddafi. And Gaddafi was one brilliant human being who had the dream of having one gold currency for Africa. The dream of having this Africa that was very much interconnected, that was very much feeding each other, that was very much supporting each other, that was very much speaking a language that supported its people. Gaddafi was doing all this while still very much providing free healthcare, providing free education to the people of Libya. He went back to the people, but then on the surface level was that Gaddafi was oppressing his people. And that's why when it came to the time that he was removed from this earth, there wasn't much to fight, because there was also this image, and some of us still know that image, that Gaddafi was this oppressor. And going back to our country at the moment, our president, he's not having the best from the people. Everyone is disappointed because he promised of this bottom-up model, but seems like that's not happening. He promised that the cost of living will be affordable. He promised that he is there for the hustlers, but people are not seeing those things. So it's easy to assume the fact that people feel oppressed. People don't feel like they can trust you. So then when he goes ahead and is talking about these dreams for Africa, this unification for Africa, this ability for Africa to develop, it's possible that he is just ringing bells because he does not have the support of the people, and that makes him a weak leader. And that's my message today to all African leaders. Go back to the people, support the people. No, we do not need the high taxes. No, we do not need the increased cost of living. And why I'm saying this, and why I began by talking about BRICS, is because BRICS is a brilliant idea, is a brilliant block, but this is still very far away from an African thing, a thing created for Africa. So in case one day China, which is the biggest contributor, does decide that we cannot work anymore with Africans, we cannot work anymore with this kind of people, or Russia decides, no, we're making better deals with the US, we're making better deals with the Canadians, then it's so easy for us to go back again to that position where we are the powerless people. And I think the dream for the leaders is to have a powerful Africa. But the epitome of African success becomes when the people's needs are met, when the people's needs are heard. When, if the idea, like Ruto is saying, we don't want to be dependent on these external countries, on these foreign countries. We want to develop our own strength, our own unification. So then that should mean that we don't need to increase the high taxes to pay the debts. We don't need to increase the cost of living, because the whole idea of money is we are creating money to pay some debt so that you can be able to borrow some money. We don't need that whole idea if the goal is not to depend on these foreign nations anymore. But that idea is very much not achievable if he is doing it for power. If he is doing it without the people in mind. He remains the guy who raised the taxes. He remains the guy who, if anything happens, oh yes, he was an oppressor to the people. Yet he has these brilliant dreams for Africa. And again, as I said, it could be a power play, but I want to believe it can also be for the people. It could be an exploitative thing, but I also believe we can make it regenerative. So this is a little ode to the African leaders. Please go back to the people. And going back to the people does not mean inserting a coin, does not mean everything being about you telling the people how we can be like other developed nations by making the people pay with so much money, because the resources are there. Look at the kind of salaries our leaders get. So the resource of money is there. and it doesn't help to make the people pay more than they already are. Go back to the people, support the people's needs, listen to the people. Gaddafi, the Pan-Africanists that you're talking about, the root of Pan-Africanism was people, not profits, not taxes. It was the people. Free education, free healthcare, and he was still out there saying we can have a gold currency, not even, I don't know what kind we're exchanging, in a gold currency. So I don't know if any African leader will ever hear this, but you need to go back to the people if the dream is to become that powerful continent. As per usual, I do love an engager, so do engage with me, and until next time, peace and blessings. Cheers.